today we're going to go through all of the eyeshadow palettes that I used in the month of December. I am a bit late posting this video. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I did wear less makeup, but I still ended up using 21 eyeshadow palettes. So it's still me, you know, we're still doing me. It's just usually I was hitting like 28, 29, and now I'm 21. So that's still a lot of eyeshadow palettes in 1 month, considering I definitely did not wear makeup every single day. It was definitely a more chill month. I posted less and I was just enjoying myself doing nothing really for Christmas. But regardless of that, we do have quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes to run through. I will find as many looks as I can, or as I saved in the month. I don't think there will be that many looks to share, quite honestly, but I do have all the palettes separated by how many times I used them, and my usage is just based on how many days I used it in that month. So I have a bunch of palettes that I only use one time, and then it does narrow it down quite a bit for the rest of them. Okay, let's start with all of the eyeshadow palettes that I only used once. There is no particular order to this, so I'm just going to go into this one right here. This is the ABH Nuvo palette. This has been rolled into my eyeshadow project, the Pan Nose eyeshadows, and I am working on the shade Liberty. So I imagine I went into the shade once last month. I have been going into it more this month, but I think that's why it's only been used once in December. My uses has definitely gone up this month, so that one, no surprise to me. Then we have my Lethal Cosmetics Avatar Water palette. I don't remember what I used this one for. It was most likely obviously for a blue. Maybe I did a whole look. I'm not entirely, I don't remember. Like, this was a month and a half ago, or just a month ago. So my brain just doesn't function anymore like that. But I did go into it at least once in the month of December, which I'm happy about because you know, I've been getting a lot of use of all of my other Avatar palettes, but the blue one and the green one, which I think are beautiful, they don't have as much use as the other two do. Okay, my Pan That palette for last year was, well, one of them was the Shadow Kiss from Alter Ego. I did close that project down pretty early on in the month of December, and I ended up only going into this palette once. So it's gone from using it 20 plus times in 1 month to only once. I definitely just wanted to just stop the project and give myself a break, and I'm really happy that I did that. I haven't gone into it since. I don't know if I will. I was like this with the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. I had that as my Pan That palette a couple of years ago, and as soon as I was done with that project, I really did not want to go into that palette for a really long time. So I imagine it will be the same with this one and the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude, but we'll see. Another one I went into just the once is the Call of the Sirens from Gourmand Girls. This one, I think I was just wanting to use some of these jewel tones, and again, I don't quite remember what I went into or what the look looks like, but hopefully I can find it. If not, I'm sorry about that, but I did end up going into this at least once in December. Next up, we've got the Color of Rain. So this is my Project Level Up. At the moment, it was rolled out for a long time. It's rolled back in. It's my level 5. So this is going to be in the next few videos for sure, because I need to hit 5 pans and use every single shade 5 times. But I did use this just the once in December because that's when I rolled it back into the project, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I definitely have more uses on it. I actually went into drizzling today. It's not everything you see on my eyes because I did sort of do a little bit of a mix, but I do have this on my eyes today. I think that's my favorite shade in the palette. It's absolutely stunning, stunning. Okay, went into my Glam Shop palette just the once as well. This, I believe, is because, if I recall, I was finishing up with a project, and so I was rolling it out because I had it in 2 separate projects, and I think I just hit pan beginning of December or like the end of November. I can't really quite remember, but I rolled it out. I only used it the once in December because I think it was this one that I was still waiting to hit pan on, which I did end up hitting pan on. So yeah, I haven't gone into it since, which is fine. I was working on it quite a lot. I have 2 pans in there now, and what I want to do this month in particular is take a photo of every single eyeshadow palette that I have, because it would be really nice to see maybe like midway through the year if any of them look different, because obviously with these projects, like my project level ups, they end up looking really, really different if I hit pan in a bunch of eyeshadow. Obviously my pan that palette is kind of different because that one I do have a snapshot and it will look different midway through and then the end of the year. But all my other eyeshadow palettes I do use throughout the year, and I would love to have like a history of what it looked like at the beginning, what it looked like midway through, and what it looked like at the end. So I'm hoping that I'm organized enough to do that, and we'll see. Maybe I can have like a recap video midway through the year. I would personally like to do that. Hopefully I don't forget to do it. So anyway, another palette that I use just the once is the Dancing in the Sky. This is currently in a project. It's in my no pan left behind, so I am trying to use every single shade. So I am going into it a little bit more, and I have gone into it more this month. So we will be seeing this at least for next month's catch up in terms of all the eyeshadow that I use. But in terms of December, I just used it the once. And of course, the sun is about to poke out, so hopefully the video is okay. Another one we have is the Gal on Venus from GlossGods. I did end up using this one time, and it was around the Christmas time, but it wasn't for Christmas, but I think it was the week of or after. I can't quite remember. If I have a picture of it, again, I will put it up on the screen. But yeah, this one I always have fun with. I also really like the brown, and I think you can do a really nice warm tone brown look and sort of avoid the red and the orange. You can go somewhat neutral with this palette. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to close my curtains unless this is okay. All right, I've had to close it. Obviously everything looks different now. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. Another palette that I use just the once in December is my Glaminatrix Rich Romantic palette. This one I definitely want to get more use on over the next month, especially with Valentine's coming up next month, because I really, really think this is so beautiful for that. So yeah, hopefully I can play around with this a little bit more in the next few weeks, but just use it the once. I honestly couldn't tell you what I used it for. I think it was for a random bingo, because I think I spoke about how it flips green. I vaguely remember that, but I don't remember what the look was. And then another palette that actually has been rolled into a project, so I will end up using this a little bit more, but I just used it once in December, is the Blueberry Muffin from BH. So this one, what I'm trying to do is hit pan in the shade. It is part of my Pan in Every Palette project. I think it's this one that I want to hit pan on, so no spoilers here, I have not done that yet. But yeah, I only went into that once in December. And then I went into both of my big Beauty Bay palettes, so I'll just speak about them together, but I went into the earthy ones as well. This one is in my Pan Those eyeshadows. I actually have two shades in this one, so I haven't rolled them out, so this one will stick around for at least another month. But I'm trying to hit pan in Palm, and I'm also trying to hit pan in Lime, and I'm failing with those two. And then I went into the Midnight palette, which is not in any project. I just seem to always end up going into this somehow. I don't know, or I don't remember what I went into. I always say that because I honestly don't remember, but it must have been for some kind of look. So went into those once each. Okay, moving on, we have palettes that I used at least 2 times. So we have my Enchanted Icon from Makeup Revolution. This one is also rolled into a No Pan Left Behind style project, so I'm wanting to go into every single shade, and I will do an update on that probably in the next week, so stay tuned for that to find out if I've done it. And then I've also went into this palette twice in December. This is from Glam Shop, and I had it in a project. I hit pan in the middle shade there. I don't know if I went into any other shades last month. I think it was just that one in particular, and then I stopped using it once I hit pan, as we always end up doing, right? So it's a bad mentality, that. Anyway, next up, I also went into the Dangerous Love from Makeup Revolution. This one was in my No Pan Left Behind, and I did end up going into every single shade, so that one was rolled out in December. So again, I haven't used it actually this month because I haven't like needed to. but that's why I ended up going into it a couple times in December. And then a new palette of mine that I did receive over Christmas is 'Tis the Season from Cosmic Beauty. I did end up getting the bundle, so this comes with 2 cream blushes and then 2 velvet matte lipsticks, and they're all lovely. I've tried everything, and I have actually done 2 looks with this, but it's still a very brand new palette for me. I haven't even swatched all the shades or anything. What I want to do with the new palettes I received, because there's still 2 others, or actually 3 others, is I guess a 3 looks 1 video with all of them. I just don't know which one to start with, but I really would love how there's so much variety, and then there's like a green, there's the browns, then there's the purples and the pinks. I kind of love the layout, but also if you go down, you can create some really interesting color stories as well. So when I look at this, it doesn't scream Christmas to me, so I'm definitely going to be using it more over the few months because it just seems like there's so much variety. Like I kind of want to go into all 4 of these shades all at once and see how that looks, because I think that would be crazy, but also I think that would work. So anyway, I went into this one twice, obviously at the end of the month, because I was happy to dive into it and test it out, but definitely have to use it a little bit more. Okay, next few palettes, I went into them 3 times each. So we have the GlossGods Let's Get Nude. This one was in a project, so I actually just rolled this one out. It was the shade that I was working on in my Pan Those eyeshadows, so I did end up using that a few times in December, and then obviously finishing up this month. So most of my uses I think would just be that shade, and so it wouldn't be very interesting in terms of like the looks that I have to share. I don't know what looks I saved. And then I also went into my ABH Jackie Aina palette. This one was rolled into my No Pattern Left Behind, so I wanted to use every single shade, and I finished that up in December. So I'm pretty sure that's why I went into it. I don't think I went into it any more times after that, so that's why I've got use on that one. And then another palette that is currently in a project is from GlossGods. It's the Molten Metals. So this is a in the project Pan in Every palette. It's hard for me to remember all this, but I'm doing it. And as you can see, I have not hit pan in any of the shades, but I have been going into one particular shade, and you just have to wait for that update to find out what I've been doing. But yeah, it doesn't look like I've done anything with this palette, but I swear I've gone into it at least 3 times in December. Okay, moving on, we have a palette that I went into 4 times, just the one. And it is this one, my Hocus Pocus 2 All Hallows Eve from ColourPop. This one is in 2 projects. I kind of already spoiled this in another video. I was trying to cover the pan and I was stupid and I showed the pan anyway. So this was rolled into my Pan Those eyeshadows. I currently have this one in my Pan Those eyeshadows, but prior to that I had rolled it into my Pan in Every palette. So I don't know if you're going to be able to spot that or not, but I did end up going into this 4 times in December. I think I've already gone into it at least a couple times this month as well. So it'll definitely be in the next recap because it is still in my Pan Those eyeshadows anyway. I have to use it. But yeah, this one I did end up going into and enjoying it. So there's that. And then the palette that I used the most in December, I used 6 times, and it is my Lethal Cosmetics Avatar Fire palette. So if you have been watching all my other previous videos of this sort of recap that I do every single month, I usually always have my Pan That palette as like the highest in the 20s or 19 or like, you know, late teens. My highest for December was only 6 uses. I really just did not wear that much makeup, but the makeup that I did go into was mostly all of my project pan. But anyway, yeah, this one, a little bit of a spoiler there, but I did go into it 6 times in December. I have gone into it, actually went into it today. I went into this shade today. A little bit of a spoiler there, but yeah, if you know, you know. Anyway, so those are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I used in December. I was debating whether to do this video or not because I'm so late in posting it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. And I'm still tracking everything that I use for this month and moving forward. And I think what will be cool this year is because I just started tracking all the eyeshadow palettes that I use every single month in April of last year. I didn't have the whole year to really see the whole uses, but this year I'm starting obviously fresh. We're starting in January, so we'll have, you know, accurate numbers at the end of the year for my stats, and I'll figure out how to do that properly. But anyway, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.